Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Sorry that we've been a little slow in getting these videos out to you, but we've had some technical difficulties both with our video editing software and poor Wi-Fi service. But we think we got everything upgraded and should be good to go from here on out.
Have you ever tried to download software over your phone? It takes 3 days. But anyway, that aside, do you all remember the movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Well, boy, do we have an episode for you.
Hello, I'm Sandy.
And I'm Ed.
And this is General, the totally awesome water dog. We hope you'll join us on our journey of discovery. The next adventure is just over the hills. Boy, have we got a story for you. So we made it into our new campground at Raccoon Holler on May 23rd. And there's a story behind this. We didn't actually pick this campground because it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But it picked us in a roundabout sort of way. I had called to make reservations for the campground that we wanted to go to in Boone, and found out that it was full for Memorial Day weekend. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. So I just called the place that we were currently in and asked them if we could extend through the weekend. And they said that they were full too.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe it's just our experiences, but we've watched a lot of YouTube videos and you know, a lot more learned folks than us, but we kept hearing that just go on the fly. I mean, you don't need to make reservations. Shoot, we never do. We're finding that we have to kind of be on it, and quite frankly, that fights our nomadic life a little bit, I think, because we just like to kind of wing it and stay 4 days someplace, a week another. But we did get the reservations in.
Yeah, it took me a while. I called every campground between where we were and where we wanted to be, and even on some routes that we didn't want to take to get there. But I did find a lady that said that she might possibly have one open, and she asked me to call back in the morning, and I said okay and got off the phone. But then I thought about it a little more and decided that it might be best to beg a little. So I called her back, and the office was closed, but I left a message on the machine saying that, you know, we're full-timers, we don't have any place else to go, and if she could please see her way clear to give us that space, we would be very appreciative. And she called us back first thing in the morning, and we did get that space. So
we did, and the important thing I think there is, during our stay there, I went down to the office to thank her. When we initially got there, Sandy took care of everything. I stayed out in the truck. And in the course of talking to her, she said, we usually keep 1 or 2 sites aside in case there's an emergency with people that full-time. So the key word that I think possibly you used that caught her ear was she realized we were full-timers, and she was trying to accommodate.
But on the way, you know, we have to pick our travel route to get to our campgrounds, and I guess we haven't been paying too much attention to the elevations of the routes that we're choosing. We're just kind of choosing the quickest route to get there. And we knew that we wanted to go on the Blue Ridge Parkway, so we kind of just took the shortest route to get us up on the parkway as quick as possible, and it ended up being like a 45-degree angle, uphill, windy, curvy roads. Pulling the trailer.
Well, 45 might be a little bit, but
it felt like it.
Poor Sandy. And you know, I wasn't exactly super calm. I mean, but we ran into 8-degree grades, a lot of switchbacks. Saw a lot of people looking at us like, what are these people doing?
Yeah.
But we did get on the parkway. It was good. But there was a lot of pull-offs that we realized it's not. We couldn't get in there with the trailer. So some of the stops where you got wonderful views, we couldn't stop. That's okay though. We ran back later and did some shoots of those just in the truck, and we'll get to that later on. But boy, some of those windy, curvy roads were really something, and getting to that campground though with those gorgeous sunsets, we were ready to kick our feet up. And like Sandy talked about the elevation changes, you know, we come from the Outer Banks. 10 feet above sea level,
Right.
Literally. Our old place was 32 feet above sea level, and you know we're at 5,000 feet, and I think we did that in a mile. Probably.
Sorry for the dashboard. We're on our way to our next location. We're actually on the Blue Ridge Parkway right now. Wanted to give you some footage of that. It's really beautiful up here. Amazing. Very pretty. Did you want to say anything?
Well, I was just thinking that the name is misleading because it's a parkway, and I mean, obviously I can't park. Should be the Blue Ridge driveway. Well, no, because people would park there. Oh, look, we got a scenic spot. Should we try and stop?
Yeah, go ahead. Our first overlook. Of course, we're towing the trailer right now, so we just got to be a little careful here.
Yeah.
We stopped at Arabello's Overlook, elevation 3729. And let me show you this view.
So we're on this quest to find just the right garden flag to hang outside the camper. Something with a trailer camper on it, ideally with the yellow lap. It's one of those things, we'll know it when we find it, and we still haven't found it, but we're on the Blue Ridge Parkway at Sally Mae's Trading Post, and we found this little guy. So now we have the post, now we have to find the flag, and we'll just keep searching, see what we come up with.
This is the Jesse Sheets cabin. It's at milepost 252 on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's representative of an 1815 cabin and shows how isolated the early settlers were out here in the country.
Carpet in the laundry room today, and we laid it out on top of the picnic table to dry, and it dried really fast. So the whole procedure was pretty painless and went very quickly. But we brought the carpet back in and laid it down on the floor next to the other carpets, and realized that while we didn't think they were dirty, they are. And now we have to get them washed too. But we're sticking by our idea. We're very happy that we put these kind of carpets in the camper for General's benefit, and very happy with the whole process of getting them washed and back into the trailer again.
So this is Raccoon Holler Campground. They've got this pond right at the front entrance. This is pretty awesome. The swans that are in here, they're fake. They're kind of tied down. They never move. But there are some geese behind me, and I'll show you that in a minute. So kind of back in the middle of the woods. There's no swimming on this pond, but people are kind of hanging out all over the place. Playground, volleyball court. I got swings placed around. There's some of the campers up there on the hill. Where's the geese? There's the geese. Right there. That's pretty cool. I'm on this little pier that's kind of sticking out in the middle of the water. This is the camp store. And they've got some snacks and drinks and like some bread and stuff like that, ice cream, and some RV supplies, some of the more common stuff. And this is the rec center. And they have bingo here on Saturday nights. And they have church services here on Sunday mornings. So this is the view from our campsite at the top of the hill in the back of the campground. And we were watching the sunset right through those trees right there. The neighbors to the right were really super nice folks. We talked to them quite a bit over the entire weekend, and they had youngins with them that love to pet General, so that was totally awesome. General really enjoyed that. We also met the folks that live across the street there. You can kind of see their house through the trees. Real nice folks. They would walk through this park, come over through the fence there and walk this park every evening after dinner. So real nice. And this is our campsite. They call it a pull-through. It kind of is just parallel to the road. You can see how far away our neighbors are. We had plenty of space. Absolutely plenty of space. And on the other side of the street, you can see the bathhouse and the laundry area and down over the hill. And so that was really close and spotlessly clean. Spotless, I'm telling you. It was absolutely wonderful. And the yard area right down in through there they use for tent sites. So they have a lot of tent sites here too. But we were very happy at Raccoon Holler. Love it to death. It's our favorite campsite to date. over here in between, underneath the trees, there are two sections of the campsite that are not really that many trees. The side that we were on, and then the side that you come in on, and down through the center, it's really heavy trees, and they have some seasonal folks in there. And they weren't a bother at all. Everybody was so friendly, not a problem at all. So we left Raccoon Holler on May 27th, which was actually Memorial Day. And we got back on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which actually the access for the Blue Ridge Parkway was only like 200 yards away from the campground. So it was easy on, easy off. Another awesome plus point for that campground. Awesome campground. So we got back on that Blue Ridge Parkway. Unfortunately, we weren't able to stop at very many overlooks because the traffic on the parkway was very heavy that day, because so many people were traveling for the weekend. So here's a little bit of our journey towards Boone. Hope you enjoy the parkway. So our travel route from Raccoon Holler Campground to Grandfather Campground south of Boone was really a great travel route. It started out just perfectly. We were on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I'm sure you can see this blue line here. It is a windy, curvy road, but it wasn't bad at all, and we were really enjoying the journey along this route. When we got closer to Boone here, our Garmin told us to get off of the Blue Ridge Parkway right about here, and we did that and headed north and to follow along with what the Garmin was saying, and it wanted us to go down a dirt road with the travel trailer, and of course we couldn't do that. So we turned and went the other way. We went south and ran into the Highway 221, which, if you remember, 221 was the highway that we took up to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Well, this time 221 went downhill, and fairly steep downhill, and it was an even windier and curvier road than the Blue Ridge Parkway was. So by the time we got down to Linville, we'd already put a bunch of wear and tear in our brakes. But this Route 105 that went from Linville down to the campground was also a steep grade. And we had to stop right in the middle of a hill to make the turn into the driveway of the campground. So a lot of extra wear and tear on our brakes. And that last section from where it wanted us to turn off the parkway until we got to the campground was extremely stressful for us. It was just bad. So we got to Grandfather Campground and got everything all set up and everything. And this is the one and only picture we ever took of the campground while we were there. Because we knew right away that this was not our favorite place to be. And in our minds, we were thinking, well, if we can't say anything good about this campground, then we probably shouldn't say anything at all. But the more we thought about it, the more we decided that we needed to pass on the information to you folks and give you an honest review of what we thought the campground was like. So dirt roads, spaces that are really close together. The sewer hookups for your neighbor are literally right beside your patio. The people were not friendly. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with General. It was just, it had bad vibes. It had bad karma. The bathrooms were atrocious. The laundry area was just a disaster area. We just could not find anything good about this campground. So,
I guess we'll go ahead and leave it at that. And hopefully that'll give you enough information for you to make a decision on whether or not you want to try it. So overall, there are a lot more goods than there are bads, as you can see from this video. And ugly only happens once in a great while. We are very happy with our new life and loving every minute of every day, and very happy that we decided to go on this journey. Take care. See you next time.